When he said for nights, I thought the night is already well overspent. It was supposed to have started at 5 p.m., right? And it's, what time is it now? 8:30.
A lot of time.
So, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to start on an existing protocol. So, Sonny, people are tired, and I don't know if it's the right time to start showing slides. I wasn't sure what to do because it's almost 9. People have traveled, there's jet lagging and all sorts, and then we'll have dinner and then wine, and not a good time to show a lot of slides. But unfortunately, I prepared some slides and I didn't want to go through notes, but we had a very amazing keynote from prior speakers. The GNPC, right, is still around, and also the gas in Bielsa State. So again, I think it's a great pleasure to be here to support Sonny. We always say, Sonny try to sell our story. We have to sell our story in Africa, right? I'm sure you're all energized and enthused by the presentation of the Bielsa State Governor representative. So what I'm going to do is just to tell our own story from the Seplat point of view. The private investor, you know very well, Seplat started business in 2010. About 10 to 11 years in Nigeria, we're pioneering lots of investment. We're local indigenous company, but we're listed in London and also in Nigeria. So what I'll just share is pretty much more of a global view, and then I'll zoom in Nigeria, how we see fossil fuel layouts going forward. I do also believe in energy transition, but we've always said energy transition, Africa will have to go through its own path, not Europe path or Western world path. And you see the reason why we believe the path of travel is going to be different. So I'll start with excuse me, you want to try, okay, next one, please. Okay, so what is the global outlook? What's the next place? So I wish I could control the slide one. Can you see this slide at all? Probably can. Oh, okay. But overall, that mix is meant to change over time, and different parts of the world. You see, Europe is quite strong in terms of wind energy today. Lots of research going into the blue-green hydrogen space, and also solar becoming also another very strong form. And some countries have geothermal energy as well in that mix. So overall, it depends on your belief of the future and how the technology will evolve and how that mix. Well, we strongly believe that oil and gas will still have a very strong role to play in that whole energy mix in the next 30, 40 years. Okay? Let's see the next one. So there's a need to increase energy access. This is Nigeria's energy transition journey. To achieve a just transition means while we believe in energy transition, we're not going to make stupid decisions that basically wrecks the economy. So it's got to be balanced along the lines of what is sustainable and how do you harness the resources to still create value and therefore address the S of the ESG component. So there's a whole lot of focus around renewables, but we also strongly believe that we can't produce oil and gas in a way that emissions are lower and therefore we're able to meet the 2050 Paris objective. And the Peter talked about it, which is the last one around how do you transit from firewood to gas, thereby preserving the environment and not destroying the environment. Yeah, I think that's this one. So ESG is one thing that is quite becoming a big issue now for us in the industry. So when we go out to raise finance, we talk a lot about ESG, and the way we see it is for the African continent, it's a struggle between E and the S, right? Because of the massive, poverty, you got to fix the S first, and somehow in that process, the E then gets carried along. So we very much believe in climate change, drive down emissions, biodiversity, deforestation, and now we actually track every hydrocarbon molecule, and we're doing a lot around driving down greenhouse gas emissions. So from a governance point of view, it's quite critical that we're looking at all the corporate governance rules. Of course, as a public listed company, is an area we come under a lot of scrutiny in the public market. So Seplat Energy, based on all looking ahead and looking at the future, we've pretty much gone back and stepped back to look at what's our belief about the future, and how do we make the right choices and decisions today to deliver on that future. So we strongly believe that we will have to play in that mix of energy to support Nigeria's growth. And if you look at what we believe in is all remains crucial for Nigeria's development. Gas will drive transition, and renewables are going to be the future. So we very much believe in that sort of model. So on the longer term, it's about how then we position, making the right investment choices today, driving down emissions, and also at the same time investing a lot in new renewable energy. And that's at the core of our strategy. So what have we done so far? We've looked at what's our priority when it comes to energy transition. Number one, we'd like to achieve a sustainable long-term growth by providing that optimal mix for the country. We'd like to be an energy champion that will partner with the Nigerian government who's driving transition. As you can see from the major investment we're making, we're going to be the biggest domestic gas player in the country. And I know we'll also get through the latest transaction we're just working on, waiting on government approval. We'll have about 12 TCM of gas in the mobile producer Nigeria shallow water asset. And I think we'll be successful in getting through that, and we'll see how that comes into the strategy. We're preparing our workforce for low carbon world, looking at new skills, and also driving significant reduction in corporate emissions. In terms of the new strategy, our approach is first to drive social development. So we're proud of what we've been able to achieve in all our communities where we operate in Delta State, Edo State, and Imo State. We form true partnership with our communities, and that's why Seplat hasn't really come under any major any shutdown, because of how we've been able to foster that relationship. You know, lots of the community folks are contractors; they work for us, and we're a very good partner. And also because we're listed, they've also invested in the company, so they have a skin in the game. We've also spent a lot of time looking at environment care and reporting with ESG. Now we're actually driving very strong reduction in terms of Scope 1 and Scope 2 emission as part of our commitment to our investors community. We're also working on developing more policy around biodiversity and also on the groundwater utilization. And the last part here is about how do you maximize return for all stakeholders, and that's really the challenge. Investors still expect a decent return on the capital employed. At the same time, expect us to also put money into the new energy space. So we're driving that balancing act. So the way that is designed in our new strategy is we keep investing in upstream business, selectively high-value molecules, oil and gas, to drive that cash engine around the upstream. And then we drive out quite a number of profit out of that upstream business into the midstream gas. And ANOL is a classical example. We're putting $700 million in ANOL. We'll keep driving that. Hopefully, our ambition is to become a 1 billion standard cubic meter of gas processing company before 2025. And we're very much on track with that ambition. If it works out well, next 1 or 2 years, Nigeria should actually be a net exporter of refined product as against importing petroleum products.